everybody for coming today, and people do come and go, you know, as, since it's
Depending on
slated for
how
2
bored
hours.
we are.
Well, you girls might have to get up and dance a little or something. But
Right.
anyway, I'd like to introduce Charlotte Baker and her daughter Shari James, and local girls from Lakeport that lived at the ranch, at the Esparras Ranch. And they were talk about their days out there and some of the excitement that happened and some of the normal everyday stuff, huh? So
Yeah,
anyway,
sure.
Shari or Charlotte, you can take it away.
I'll be not the senior. Let's see, I think we
And
were,
questions are welcome.
I'm trying to go back to when we first heard about the SRS. I think we were in Tahoe. And then I worked at the casino to change. Anyway, when we moved to the SRS, we lived in there were 3 houses. And the middle house, and then the pool house. The pool house was the very end one from where the big house was.
Which would be the one toward, closest to Kelseyville.
Yeah.
And then the other one was in the center, and this one was on the one closest to Kids Corner.
And we arrived like, you know, dark night. And all night long, I heard this weird I thought, holy cats, that windmill sure needs oiling. And the next morning I found out it was frogs.
In the pond.
Yeah, a big pond there, and people would come and ask us if they could hunt frogs. And we said, absolutely, be our guest. Well, one day, somebody brought us a plate of frog legs ready to cook. And those are the only frog legs I've ever had in my life, but they were delicious. But we did frog hunt. And that was in the early 60s. 61, 60?
60, we moved there.
1960. You think of something to say?
Okay. I lived in Hawaii with my aunt and uncle and moved back to Tahoe with my mom, and then we moved to the SRS with my stepdad, and you know, I've been in Hawaii and Tahoe, they were beautiful. Then we moved here and it was in the summer and it was all brown, and I thought, this is not a very nice place.
Hot,
But I got-
brushy, and red dirt.
But I got, so I absolutely loved it and have been here ever since then, and I've been here my whole adult life. I was 16 when we moved to the SRS. I'm a little older than that now. 72. And I honestly couldn't remember which house we lived in first, because we lived in all 3 of them, and I don't know why we moved so much, because it wasn't our idea. It must have been Mr. Kettenhoffen's. Maybe he decided somebody needed to live in one of the houses, and we moved to a different one. But my favorite one was this one. I loved this house the most. And my bedroom was upstairs in the front, in the part that they've torn off. And I was pretty upset when that happened, when I saw them tear that part off, when I came by one
It was
day.
very traumatic.
And my bedroom was gone. And I loved that bedroom. It was nothing fancy, but I really, really liked it. And I
My
liked
bedroom was right up
upstairs.
here, right above this floor.
Mom's
Still
bedroom's
is.
still here, but mine's gone. And it's disconcerting.
But on my bedroom, there was a little lip also, which is the addition, that went off of that like a little sitting room. And it was windows all around and sunny and bright. But when the people took over, I don't know where they fit in the line of people that have it, they made a bed and breakfast out of it. They did horrible things. They put where my closet was, they made that a hall.
What year was that?
Oh, I don't know, I can't remember, but
90s maybe.
80s, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, probably.
I talked to her, I came and saw what, she gave me a tour, and I was mortified, but I didn't.
She didn't stay long.
No.
She wasn't here too
They
long.
left, what, overnight or something?
Well, they had a business in town, they left overnight there, and then they were here, and then they left overnight. I think they didn't pay their taxes. I think that's
But
what
they're the
problem
ones
was.
that took out the window seat that was right across that front window, which is this picture here. And I've hunted for boxes, we've got boxes yay high of pictures, and little by little I'm going through them, it's very time consuming.
Most of them are this big, in black and white.
Yeah, and most of them are close up of people, like my mother and her husband sitting here in the dining room. You could see the part of the wallpaper behind it with little roosters, about that big pattern like this is. So they did a pretty good job matching it, not knowing that. But this is my younger daughter, she's 14 years younger than Cher. And she would only play with Tonka trucks, you wouldn't dare give her a doll.
And horses.
Yeah.
Breyer's horses.
Yeah, Breyer's horses, she had quite a collection. And then these are her two cousins. But Kathy was about 4 years old in this picture, and I'll let it go around so you can see the window seat here and the blue plaidish type paper that was in there. We didn't do any of that, that was here. And the Christmas tree was in that corner, and the fireplace was right between those two windows. And we used it when we first moved here, but then they said, the building inspector, he said, your chimney is not safe.
Well, let me correct that. What happened was, the chimney went up in a little room that was, I guess, kind of a closet that attached to my room, and smoke came out the top in that room. So we realized that it was cracked and we couldn't use it anymore, and we liked using it, but it wasn't safe.
And, and all that good we had. But anyway, this girl has been trucking since she was 20, and she, April 30th, just turned 58.
This coming
She's
April,
still
right?
Yeah, in a week, yeah, that's so, and then you can see the, whatever I wrote on the back.
You know why it
if
was
you wanna
called FRS? Who named it? I mean,
read it. No.
No, because the Eli's bought it
uh-huh.
in the,
And that's what they named it, huh?
yeah, I don't know who called it, let's see.
Esparras.
Kettenhoff, and I wouldn't think they would have called it Esparras.
No,
I think
no,
it was
it was
probably the
Esparras.
Esparras before them, but I don't know. I was
Eon.
16 when I moved here, I didn't care about history.
Right.
You know, I care about it now, but when I had the chance, I didn't look into anything.
Yeah.
This house was very different when we lived in it. When you'd walk through the house, you'd be walking up, walking straight, walking down, because there was only probably what you call piers. There was no foundation necessarily, and so it was not as sturdy as it is now at
In
all.
between the piers, it was sagging.
Oh, yeah, it was, you know, it was old. I had no idea it was 1850 something. No wonder it was saggy. It was amazing. There was a nice sleeping porch off of this side that was all screened, so it's nice there's the porch there. But going out the porch went down, and my bedroom went down, and the bedroom, there was a big room on the other side of the house, it went down. It was interesting, but you got used to it. Otherwise, you sort of felt like you were on a boat or something, you know, with these ups and downs. But I loved this house. This was definitely my favorite.
When you walk in, that's where the original front door was, and those pillars. And then off to your left, walking in, was like a parlor. And of course, that was added on, so it's gone. Then here was the door to the kitchen, and then,
Which was
this
added
is all
on.
original here. Nothing's changed except paint. And all that. Now, that window was a door that went out to the porch. But to the kitchen was off that way, and a window, the sink was right at the very end, and you looked out over the backyard, over the nice big window there. But then back this way, which was, I don't know if they changed this door or not, it's hard to tell, was a pantry, a nice pantry. And there is a cupboard at the end here that has, they showed me last time I was here, the original green kind of lap wood inside that door. And I think they'll let you look if you care to.
Well, I think that the door to go out there was back farther that way because the kitchen was back farther.
Well, yeah, but
And there was a big long porch. Not a porch, there was a big long room. Is that where the washer and dryer was?
No. I gotta visualize it. When you went out of the kitchen, like left of the sink, there was a door that went out, and then there was a long room down this way after that wall. And it had a freezer and I don't remember what else, cupboards and things. Then off of the, straight off, was another room. At the very end had a shower stall, a wash basin, and a toilet. We'll tell you a story about the toilet later. But before you go into there, and it had a door, was somebody had washing machine and dryer there, which we actually put ours there. And they never closed the dryer hole, which goes along with the toilet story, and I'll let Shari tell that one.
I'll tell you the toilet story. We had a bathroom upstairs, and my bedroom was upstairs, and I had big flannel pajamas on, and I only went to the bathroom downstairs because I was still sleepy.
But when we first moved there, that upstairs bathroom didn't work.
Oh, I don't-
The tub.
I don't remember that at all, but that's okay. But anyway, I only went in there because I was still sleepy, and I was kind of like this. And I was sitting very still, big blousy flannel pajamas, and all of a sudden, a rattlesnake went like this right between my feet. He wasn't very big, he was maybe this big, and all I could think of is, how in the heck am I gonna get out of here without that thing biting me? It was really, really scary. I don't remember leaving that bathroom. I knew one way you turned the doorknob, it didn't open. There was a small window. I thought, I wonder if I could fit through that window. I don't remember leaving the bathroom. But I went in the other room and sat down on a stool.
No, she came running into the other room where my husband and I were, and, well, we had like a leather chair there, and 2 leather chairs anyway. And she came in, she was white as a sheet, and she says, snake. She could hardly get it out. And so I ran right back in there, and I guess he got the snake killed.
Well, and I thought, how do you get a snake out of the bathroom? You can't shoot it, you'll make a hole in the floor. So I guess he used a stick and took it outside and did kill it. We had a terrible, terrible problem with snakes on the Esperas. Rattlesnakes, lots of them. One killed my dog, one killed one of our cows, and we killed lots of them.
The steer must have been laying down, no.
Or eating, could have been eating them.
Well, yeah, of course, it probably was eating. Anyway, what we saw was the steer rearing back and the snake hanging off his neck.
Yeah, we had lots of bad experiences.
Can you eat the steer after it's been bitten?
I wouldn't think so, but I don't remember.
I don't remember that either. All I remember is seeing it and thinking, oh my gosh, here's another problem with them. It was really, that part was, I was scared to death. We had a garden, and I would not go in that garden because come to find out, snakes don't necessarily like that hot sun. It gets too hot for them, and they like the coolness of the garden. I thought, well, I'm not going in there. And I used to go frogging with my uncle when he came up. They lived in San Jose at that time. There was a pond on that side of the road, but on the other side of the road, kind of in back, there was another pond, and there were lots of big frogs there. So we would go frog gigging with my uncle and whoever came with him. And I loved it. It was really, really fun until I found out that snakes came out at night, and I said, that's the end of that. I never went again. I mean, they really controlled my life there a lot as far as being afraid or, you know, I was very, very careful.
One time when Nancy was out in the back, he came back in and he said, have you ever seen a green rattler? I said, no. And he would tell stories once in a while, so I didn't believe it. He said, you go down the road and by such and such a tree, you look, I left it there. And I did, and there was a green rattler, almost as big round as his arm. I mean, it was huge, because they'd come, the big granddaddies would come down off that mountain after the fire that they had there. And I remember one time, Dutch Belleville, we were very good friends, and out in
Which is
front,
Suzanne's dad.
My
Stepdad.
yeah, they had Belleville Electric in Carmel, we were all from Carmel. I was born in a house that my grandfather built in Carmel in 1923.
Did they have the Highlands Inn then?
Well, there was the Highlands, yeah,
Could have been.
not like it is now. In fact, I was married in Highlands.
Me too.
Oh.
Oh, how neat. It's been there quite a while.
Lost train of thought.
Sorry.
When we had the fire, and I don't remember if that was like September of 90 or September of 91. No,
No, back.
61,
60.
61, sorry.
59 or 60, it seemed like.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been 59, we weren't here yet.
Okay.
I think it was when I graduated from high school in Sacramento at Encina High School while I was living with my dad for a short period of time. And I came right back to the SBRS. And I think it might have been after that. So I kind of think that's when it was.
Yeah.
And it burned Canocti and a lot, it didn't, you know, it wasn't thickly populated like it is now. I don't remember when the Riviera developed. There were a few houses, but not the hundreds like there are now. And so it burned down to the other road, and it burned to the SBRS. Let's see, where are we? Back this way. And it burned a lot of the fence, and we had a lot of cattle. I don't remember how many, but we had cattle. And it was so exciting because I could drive, and there was no such thing as cell phone. So I would take messages to the different firemen at different places. I don't remember what they were. And it was all fun and games until somebody burned up on the ranch that we didn't know. And I saw them bring them out in a black rubber thing. And then it wasn't so much fun, but it was a pretty bad fire.
You were right, we had the old ranch Jeep, one of the real old ones, and that's what we were
Open
running.
Jeep, yeah.
Yeah, and,
They dropped borate on us right about here. They were
plane came
dumping,
over the mountain, just boom, he was there and starting to drop that. We barely got out of the way because we had shovels and we were throwing it on a little patch that was burning. I bet he laughed all the way back to where he was.
Was that the fire that went where the Riviera is now, that burned?
it burned part of it, but it wasn't a lot of houses. I don't remember any houses
Mostly
burning.
it was.
It was brush, but a lot of our fence. So we had cows from Kelseyville to Cobb Mountain. It was a mess.
Yeah, but that wasn't during the fire.
After the fire,
Yeah.
but it was from the fire.
Okay, we had this huge load of yearlings that came in from Fallon, Nevada. And they didn't know what a finch was anyway, you know, out there in the wilds. And we had cattle from Lake, Kelseyville, the lower lake, and the sheriffs and people on horseback and people on cars trying to get them off the road, and it was a joke of
But it was
county
also
right
a
then and
mess.
there.
It was a mess.
Yeah, but let me get back to the Belleville story. When they used to come over for dinner every so often, and, you know, we're real good friends. And my husband wouldn't do anything mean, not on purpose, but there was a place where there's still a little arch there where the house was, and to the right of that was like a little building, like a gasoline pump originally, and a post where the hose was
There was still a
wrapped
gas
around.
pump there.
There was a
gas
gas,
pump
I
there.
remember a gas pump.
Around them that you could see through the top.
Yeah.
And we had the most wonderful artesian well on that property, wonderful water. And people were known to come all around. They could fill their motorhome, bottles, they were never turned away. That was the history of that place, if you've ever had to go get water. And so anyway, for some reason, my husband hung that dead snake over that, as he came in the house. Well, in the meantime, the Dutch Bill came along to get a drink out of the hose and grab that snake. He was livid. He come staring through the house. I thought he was gonna kill my husband. I said, wait a minute.
So Ratsy had left the dead snake out there? Was that?
Yeah, so-
Oh, okay, I think I
I mean,
remember hearing it, but that
He
story.
had huge arms, and that snake was at least as big around as his arm. And I think it had like 18 buttons on it. It was after the fire that brought down these granddaddies
Lot
that
of
had never
snakes.
been off that hill.
Yeah. Because Canocti is infested with rattlesnakes. Where am I? Where's Canocti? Right there? Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
not only Canocti, there's Sugarloaf.
Yeah,
Is that what that's called, Sugarloaf?
the smaller.
The smaller one.
This one right here in the
And
middle.
about that fire, you know, there was a picture on the front page of the paper
Oh, yeah, that one.
of the fire, and it
Yeah.
showed a tractor. Now, these
Caterpillar. Caterpillar.
two young men were going up there to save that Caterpillar tractor. Anyway, all it showed was a tractor and a broken thong. A broken thong, and I know you cannot run in a broken thong. And the fire came swish up there, and all that burned on that tractor was the seat, and those two men died. But it
I
had to
think,
be that he
I
couldn't
wanted
run.
to ask Terry Norton about this. I think one of them was a Norton, so a local Kelseyville boy. I didn't know them, and
No.
I don't know the other one. Do you know?
It wasn't Norton. I was a corner with him, two died.
Yeah,